Hello. Alright, I kind of new to this video making thing, so I'm just gonna wing this, but I wanted to run through some serious issues with Mei that I've been wanting to kind of address a little bit in detail, specifically with examples. Unfortunately, all of the footage I have is really only my own footage, so I don't have examples from other people, although I know a few of these issues have been expressed online at both the Blizzard forums and the Overwatch subreddits. Although, for how much of a pain these issues are, I'm surprised they've been brought up more. So, three very major issues with Mei right now. Two of them with her ice wall, and one of them with her icicles, her secondary attack or secondary fire on her primary weapon. I'm gonna go over the icicle issue here really quick because I'm sure you're all well aware of the ice wall issue getting on top of that. And I'll save the second ice wall issue for last because I don't think anybody else has actually seen that yet, so we'll just run through what we know first. So I know I've seen at least one post on the Overwatch subreddit regarding the icicle right clicks. So I'm going to run through some examples here, some footage that I have. I know I'm not the best shot in the world, but some of these are extremely questionable, and I went ahead and tested some of these. So let's go ahead and look over those real quick. Okay, so I thought to myself, maybe I'm just bad. Maybe I'm actually missing. I thought I would maybe test this to see exactly how close I would have to get to proc the headshot with her icicle. So I went ahead and tested it on Ana here, and you'll see that you got to be really close, but you don't have to be square in the middle of their face for the headshot to proc. You can see there, yeah, headshot, perfect. I thought I'd compare this to the Zenyatta clip, because my friend happened to have the same skin that I was firing upon there. And I'll go ahead and show you here. You have to get really, really close to this. The headshot hitbox for this is not forgiving by any means, but barely at the tip of his head there is able to hit him. Now take a look at the clip here that I ran into. You can see, I'm going to pause the video, crosshairs on his head. I fired the shot. You can actually see right behind him when he moves two icicles in the wall there where I basically missed. Alright, one more thing here that I kind of want to, a couple things I want to demonstrate actually. So before the patch, obviously the hitboxes were larger for the projectiles. You could do things like hit these railings really easily. Almost anywhere you fire through the railing would hit the railing and knock it down. Now you gotta be pin perfect to hit this railing, as you can see. Otherwise, it goes clean through it. I get the feeling this may be part of the problem, potentially, with some of the skins. I had noticed that. Perhaps the skins are a little wider than the actual hitboxes for the characters. Um, that could be one explanation for it. If that is the case, it's obviously very visually confusing. So that might be something that Blizzard may want to address. Now, one more little demonstration I wanted to kind of go over here with her icicle is something that I think is, I don't know if I want to say an optical illusion, but it visually looks wrong, I think. So technically, the gun should be pointing at exactly where the crosshair is. However, the crosshair is also exactly in the middle of the screen, where theoretically your eyes should sort of be. This kind of creates this triangular confusion. I'm not quite sure how I want to describe that, but as you can see here, it almost kind of looks like the icicle should be traveling into the back end of this car. And you can see here, if you point the crosshair right at the car and fire, it sticks. But if you're just barely off, it doesn't. And I feel like that's causing to some of the confusion here as well, and it's part of what's happening. Okay, so this particular issue, I'm sure you guys have all experienced probably several times. It drives me nuts on a regular basis because I do like to play her, and I've been playing Mei exclusively about as much as I can, primarily so that I can try to get as much footage as I can regarding these issues. I'll probably speed up some of this footage so that I can actually count some of these, but getting on the ice wall is extremely it is extremely difficult. And when I say difficult, I mean you just have to be lucky. It definitely seems like it is a roll of the dice sort of thing. I have not been able to create any sort of consistency as far as jumping goes. It actually feels like any amount of movement will cause you to roll that dice and maybe end up on top, maybe you won't. However, I can't seem to create that level of consistency in-game, which is where, again, that inconsistency that I spoke about a moment ago comes from. So in here, the only time that I could actually sort of create a consistency of getting on top of the wall is if the wall is mostly produced before you land on top of it. So you'll see there I was trying to spawn the wall and then jump on top. That seems to work okay. However, spawning the wall underneath you has a very small chance of success of actually putting you on top of the wall. Whether you're moving or jumping or crouching, I can't, again, I couldn't create any consistency. The only time I could see any consistency was in custom game, just putting it underneath me, not moving at all. However, I didn't see that consistency when actually playing a game. I don't know if that's a bug or just, again, some inconsistency I was running into. So again, that's frustrating, but I don't think we really need to go any more into detail in this. I will just quickly mention that I know there was an issue with her ice wall getting into certain parts of the map, exploiting the map. I don't have any footage on that. If I can find the link to that Reddit post in that video, I will put it in the description to this video. But just know that there is a pretty big map exploit issue. Specifically, one of the most terrifying ones is on the second defense point in Hanamara. To summarize that, basically she could use her ice wall to put small enough heroes into the little lanterns that are on the point there. Anyway, moving on, we'll go and talk about the second issue with her ice wall, which has actually really kind of baffled me because I've never seen it before, and I've never heard anybody talk about it. But I have had it happen to me 4 times in the past week, so we'll go ahead and go over that now, I guess. All right, the last issue here that I wanted to go over with her ice wall again came as a surprise to me. I've asked about this a little bit, not a whole lot, but the few times that I have asked, I have not run into anybody else who's had this particular problem. And I've run into it 3 or 4 times, at least three. I've got 3 clips here, so I'm going to go and go over those with you here. The first one here is on Dorado. You can see right there. It places it, but it just doesn't take. And it confused me at first. I hadn't seen that happen before. I've had it happen another time here, and I noticed that the skill did actually go on cooldown. If you look at it there, it goes on cooldown. And I questioned, well, you know, maybe it's a visual bug. I didn't question that until afterwards. Thought maybe it's there, and I'm just not seeing it. Well, this clip suggests otherwise. As you can see in slow-mo here, I place it, and Tracer zips right through it, right? Or right where it would be, anyway. So to summarize all of this and wrap things up, Mei is good and broken. Hopefully they can fix these things quickly. I know she's not really played in the professional scene, or at least I've come to understand that she's not played very much. I don't follow the meta myself, but you know, perhaps she could be played more if she wasn't so broken. But my point being is that just because something isn't played in the pro scene or the meta doesn't mean they should be overlooked or ignored. If anything, that means they should be looked at even more thoroughly. So hopefully they can get around to fixing these things sooner than later. That's all. Have fun. Don't be a dick. See you in Overwatch.
Yeah.